Hello and welcome to 16 Ounce Cinema. This is our sub-cult series. I'm TJ Death and I'm traveling back in time into the body of my ancestor Angus Death.
Wow, I'm the ancestor. Okay, that's pretty cool. You're
You are older,
you're banging my chick, I guess.
like 6 months. Oh no. I'm just gonna wake up and then, or right after. No, I never do, because he does it, remember, in the movie, which
Well,
we're gonna talk
I
about.
thought he
He
did.
always, he's always there too late.
Ah,
Well, we're talking about Trancers, but before we get into that, this is our episode one of our subcult series. So, me and Mike started doing the Bava thing on our own, and so Angus and Mike went off and got political, so which I haven't listened to yet. I'm
oh,
like
dude,
scared to.
you're gonna fucking hate it, dude. You're gonna wonder why
That's
you
what I'm
even put
like.
it up.
That's what I'm like. Well, it's political, and I just don't do politics at all. So like, it's like I don't want to offend you all, but I don't have interest in listening to it just because it's about politics.
I don't really give a
And I
shit
won't
about.
get it. I won't get half of it.
I don't give a shit about Mario Bava. So I mean, we're kind of on the
So,
same
yeah, so.
page. Um,
But our Mario Bavas are like 10 minutes long. You all did an hour.
Well, you gotta listen. Like, we set up what the show is. We go into some details. Like, I
Like
don't,
we're doing here, yeah. The
yeah,
first
like,
Bava was like 25 minutes.
I don't think the next episodes are gonna be as long. I mean, the next one's gonna be Hillary Clinton, so it might be that long. It might be longer.
Oh, no. What are you drinking tonight?
I just got Coors Light. I had nothing special. I have,
Me either.
PBR in the fridge left over
I
from
had
the weekend.
a whiskey, an orange juice, and now a Leinenkugel. I gotta hit it heavy because I got like this like first date anxiety because we like never talk one on one anymore.
No, this is really
This
weird. I think it's probably
it's
the
almost
first
as
time in like
it's
years.
almost as weird as the first time like we recorded in person. Like because we always just talk in the group chat, and
Yeah.
then but Mike lives here, so I talk to Mike one on one just because he lives here. So it's weird.
Yeah, no, it's definitely different. I was gonna start drinking like because I have this like hot, it's a hot ginger Jägermeister, and
That
it's
sounds awesome.
it's pretty good. And the thing is, like the liquor stores here are like trying to get rid of it because I guess it didn't sell. So like the liter bottle is only like 9.99. I was gonna
Whoa.
yeah, like so it's ridiculously cheap. I was gonna drink
Is it
that.
still red, like a Jaeger base with
It
extra spices?
Yeah, yeah. It looks like the
Okay.
Jaeger, and yeah, it's just got like that more of a spice taste. Like I was saying, like I was gonna drink that, but like I was getting really fucking tired, and I just got out of this hot shower just because I was falling asleep.
Oh,
So
I had like extra Sprite. I was like, I need the energy today. It's like extra sugar right before.
uh,
The sugar and 3 drinks. So I was like, all right, we should be good. So the sub cult series, that's what we're calling it. First, we just figured we'd go through the Trancers series, so that's where we're going to start this with.
yeah,
But the series that we're
it was only gonna be a 6 episode thing, right? Originally,
right, and we were thinking, how do we keep our thing going
yeah.
and like make Trancers make sense in whatever we decide to do? So we figured it would be movies that are not quite cult movies that we think need that extra push and deserve it.
Yeah, like they definitely have all the makings of it, but like they're not like as big as they should be in our opinion. So
Right, like they missed out. Like ones we've done for the main show, I would say like Cherry 2000 is definitely one because it's like the Mad Max kind of ripoff with the robots, but it has good action.
yeah,
Brian James is in like all of them.
huh.
And Mike's movie Nemesis that he brought to the show, that like I think could deserve it too.
I'm trying to
I don't
think
know
of
if you've seen those.
no, I haven't, but I'm trying to think of one I've done for the show that would be good.
Right, because we're not going to redo ones that have
Cause
already been for the show.
yeah, but I do like all like obscure ass weird movies too, like fucking Psycho Cop 2 returns. Like
Yeah.
everybody's heard of Maniac Cop, like that's the one, but
Well, I
nobody
think of
watches
any of
Psycho
them,
Cop.
your Billy Pond movie,
Oh,
maybe.
Circus of the Dead, yeah. That's
Yeah.
got a good following, like around horror
It just needs
conventions.
time then.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Okay.
I think it'll be bigger within the years, but it definitely has a semi cult following, at least in the horror community that
That's
I
good.
see online and going to the conventions and stuff.
I'm looking through Dance Me Outside. I'm actually
Oh
looking at
no,
our movie list
there
right now.
as
And like
that should never be a cult movie.
I think your closest is Elves because it's a Christmas movie
Oh
and
yeah.
it's completely insane.
But the thing is, like,
I'm only to Jay.
it
I don't want
need
to go
the
through the whole list.
yeah, yeah, don't. But Elves needs a legit release on DVD at least. The
Oh, I
fact
didn't even know it didn't have that.
No, it's only VHS, I think.
Huh.
And then there's bootleg like DVDs that they sell at cons, but there is
Right.
no official release for that. Like I'm thinking like like a company like Scream Factory or something should really pick that up and give it like
It
the restored edition that it deserves, you know?
it seems like an easy sell since it's Christmas themed. People
Yeah.
gobble up Christmas horror like crazy, like indiscriminately.
Yeah, and like it was a good movie. Like I didn't hate it. I mean, it was cheesy as fuck, but I mean, you know what you're getting with a movie about killer elves. But
Yeah, I mean, when you described it to the show, I was like, just sounds awesome.
yeah, like they actually it seemed like they actually put money into it too. Like it wasn't just some like fucking video camera type movie. So,
Well, there you go. We looked back on the show. We found the ones that we're not going to do for the subcult series.
yeah.
So now
No
everyone go do
repeats.
your job and make those ones cult for us. But we'll get back around to transfers. So um,
Well,
I don't know if you want to go
hold on.
first. How you found?
Well, I want
Yeah.
to just say something else, like about because we were just talking about elves being a Christmas movie and that making it could be like a culty thing. Trancers was a
Yes.
Christmas
Yeah, I
movie.
was shocked. Actually, it's
Yeah,
in my notes. Just one line. This is a Christmas movie! Exclamation point.
yeah,
That's there you go. That's like automatic inclusion to the being a subcult movie is if you're a horror themed Christmas movie or Christmas theme in your horror movie.
yeah. Like the thing is, like you know how like every year you see those annoying debates, like oh, Die Hard's a Christmas movie, and then people are like, oh no, it's not. Dude, I want that to be the
Right.
Trancers of this year. Like I want people to be talking about that
Yes.
movie as the fucking
Yes.
Christmas movie.
Arguing transfers as a Christmas movie because Die Hard is like let's put that to bed already. Like
Yeah, yeah, it is.
people have made it part of their annual tradition, so like it is. It could take place on Halloween, but everybody decided to watch it on Christmas. It's a Christmas movie now, just by default of tradition. So like, it's not even funny anymore to say like, "Oh, my favorite Christmas movie, Die Hard," because it's violent. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's why I said
but,
we're pushing this, man. If you're listening to
yeah.
this show this year, make it fucking Trancers your Christmas
Oh man,
movie.
you know what? When we're done recording this, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get like all these Trancers Christmas images, and I'm gonna book our Facebook for December. 16 Us is gonna be putting out all these Trancers
the
Christmas
the 12 days of
posts.
Trancers.
Yeah, yeah, I'm totally gonna schedule that. Maybe not actually tonight, but I'm scheduling that before I
Oh,
forget. And
that
that's gonna be our page in December.
that would be awesome.
You heard it here first. So, how did you first find Trancers, Angus? I'll let you go first on this.
My thing is like I've always been a big Full Moon fan, as you know. Like I have an entire
Yeah.
Puppet Master chess piece. Like so like their movies always like because like when you would go to a video store as a kid, like you would see their box art on the VHS, and it was always fucking cool.
Oh, they're
Like,
still like cool. I mean, they have their whole
yeah,
evil bong thing that they went crazy with, but
yeah. Well, they've even gone crazier. They just made a Tiger King movie that already came out.
oh my god.
Like,
You know, when
it's
I
got
was
to be
thinking of
bad.
like how to like create a series out of transfers, one of my thought was you and I could go through all the full moon movies, but I was like, "Ugh, I don't know, because the evil
Yeah.
bong is basically what made me say no. Let me think of something
Well,
else.
I'd say anything post like 2006. I would say the last good
Yeah,
thing they really did was Ginger Dead Man.
I literally actually had that thought too. It's like, well, maybe Full Moon of the 80s and 90s?
Yeah. Because I was thinking that too. Because Full Moon would be a great one because they're all on Tubi.
Oh, I didn't
So
know they were all on Tubi. That's
pretty
amazing.
much every Full Moon movie you can think of, except for their newest ones, like made in the last year or two, are on Tubi. And it's fucking weird because they have their own streaming service, but they're still putting their shit out on Tubi, and I think Pluto TV has a lot of their shit, if I'm not
That's good to
mistaken.
know. Because it
Yeah,
used to be all over Hulu. I watched like the first five Puppet Masters on Hulu
yeah, yeah. They got rid of it
before
on
they
Hulu.
left.
Because I think that's when they went to go start their own thing. But yeah, it's weird that they're all on fucking Tubi. And Netflix used to have every Troma movie for like the longest time, and now
Wow.
they have nothing.
Netflix is like the worst of them all right now.
Yeah, like I don't. I really. That's the one I use least out of everything, and probably Disney.
Yeah,
I only
me
use
too.
Disney
Well,
now for Simpsons.
Netflix has like Asian movies, but for me, that's basically it. Because like anything else is on either Prime or like
Yeah.
comes out with like comes out of left field with shit like Parasite.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
crazy. They get the biggest movie of the year, man.
right? I was just like, and like I jumped on their Black Friday sale, so I'm paying $2 a month for
Oh
Hulu. I'm
wow.
just like, yeah, like I spend more on toilet paper when I poop than I do on Hulu every month,
Well, the
and I'm
what?
just like, but I have the ads, and one time they're doing their
Yeah.
promos, I was like, oh, a bunch of bullshit like Hulu originals. I don't really care. And then I just see Parasite. I was like, holy shit. And so that's how I first saw Parasite. And what's awesome is that even though I have the ad one, they ran ads in the beginning and they don't interrupt the entire movie.
Really?
So now I'm like pushing Hulu.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
there were
pretty
no
cool.
ads through the entire movie. They just like the ad break at the beginning and then they let the movie run. They didn't
So it's
interrupt it.
kind of like trailers. Like you see that and then just enjoy the
Yes.
movie. Huh, that's pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
Because that's what I was kind of like. I was like, I know Parasite's supposed to be like one of the. Well, they're saying the best movie ever, which I didn't agree with. I was
Nah,
like, I
not
don't want
best
a movie
ever.
like that. Yeah. I don't want a movie like that interrupted by. Their ad breaks are always terrible.
Dude,
Um,
I've been watching nothing but Scrubs, so I know every fucking, and I'm watching them all on Hulu, so I know every fucking ad, dude. And those ads are getting,
oh.
because all the ads are like, we know you've been locked up. How about getting a Jeep this summer? You don't have to pay for it for
Yes!
3 months. Well, what about
And you
after
don't
that,
even.
motherfucker?
Like
Like,
the online car sales, yeah.
we'll deliver it to you, or go to our vending
Yeah.
machine, car vending
3
machines.
months, no money down on your new Maserati. Come on.
Fucking dumb. Man, maybe we should get in the Trancers.
Yeah, so you were always just basically aware of Trancers because
Yeah,
of the fandom. One question before we get on: have you seen all six of them?
I have not.
Have you seen beyond this first one?
I think I've seen like the first three, but
Okay,
I don't remember them because I've seen them like fuck, man, at least 15 years ago. It was a
right.
while.
That's basically Trancers for me. So how I found Trancers was one day I'm like 16 years old. My parents had been out shopping on a Saturday. They came home and they brought home a VHS from the thrift store, but it wasn't like a licensed VHS. They just brought home, like back in the day, the thrift stores, I guess they probably still do now, just sold like whatever, like people's old VHSs of
Yeah,
shit they recorded off a
dude,
TV.
they still do that. Like I at
Right.
Goodwill, we found some of those, dude, and we found like a local person's movie that they made in 2002 with their kid, and it was like a Christian movie about their daughter being a princess, and it's the weirdest
Wow.
fucking thing, dude. But apparently they had like an IMDb on it and everything, because there was like this.
Wow.
It was funny because there was like this hot babysitter in it, and me and my friend were trying to look her up at like 3 in the morning. We're like, oh, dude, she has to still be around,
Just
but we could
finding her
not
on
find her.
Facebook. Oh,
This was
yeah,
like,
there's some gems there.
yeah,
And like, but that was like the old school version of like torrent sites were like, oh, we just link you to the movie. We don't know what's actually at the end of these links that we're giving you. And it's like the thrift stores. We're selling you the plastic VHS. We have no idea of the actual content of that VHS. like how did they legally get away with it? Like, just
there has to be some fucked up shit out there that people have bought like from that.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
I'm sure there's a Reddit for it. I just never looked into it.
I watch Found Footage Festival all the time. Like I go and see them live whenever they're here, and that's like their thing is they go to thrift stores and shit and just buy these weird tapes and shit, and they buy ones that just say, yeah, and then like ones that, like they found one that just said bunion surgery, and bunion and surgery were spelled wrong on it. And it's just like a lot of like people were like recording rip-off Power Rangers shows on it, and then at the end you just see an actual bunion surgery. It's like 6 hours of awesome. Weird shit and then just that in the middle.
See, yeah, this is just like, it's like modern archaeology finding these VHSs. So mine was, they brought it home because it was recorded off HBO. It actually had a label maker with like the embossed, kind of like engraved.
Oh, I used to love those things, dude.
Yes. So not just this flat sticker, it had like texture to it. And it was, I forget the Dudley Moore movie, some Dudley Moore movie, Trancers, and Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome on this one VHS.
All right, I can fuck with that trilogy. Like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I made a triple feature of that. I don't remember the Dudley Moore movie at all. And you know what? I got it from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, but Trancers was definitely the prize pick. Like, the surprise hit of that trilogy. Because, like, I don't really even want to watch Beyond Thunderdome again ever. But I definitely, like, I watched Trancers a few times when I was 16, and that was the last time. But it always stuck with me, because I just remember how cool it was.
Do you still have that tape?
How surprised I was. No.
Oh, man, that would have been cool as fuck to have.
Yeah, I should have still, but I just wasn't thinking. I just purged all my VHS. I kept a few cool, like, horror ones, like my Bleeders one with the bloody front.
Again, another should-be cult movie.
Yeah.
Even though it's awful.
No.
Yeah, no, never mind. I take that back. The only thing that should be cult about that movie is the goddamn VHS cover.
Yeah, there should have been more bleeding VHS covers, but that movie was not cult. So Trancers, directed by Charles Band himself. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like, I got to meet him like 2 years ago. Super nice guy. Yeah. He took a picture of my chest, like, with my chest tattoo, and, like, it was just weird because I'm just flashing an old man. Like, look what I got! It was just awkward. And then, like, he told, like, the young girl to, like, come over and take a picture with it instead. And I was just awkward because I'm standing there next to a hot chick with my dumb fat tits out in the middle of a convention for them to take a picture of it. I was like embarrassed as fuck. I just wanted them to see because I pulled my shirt down basically to show him. And then he made me like lift it up in front of like a really fucking hot girl like that I guess is in the movies. And then just, it was just embarrassing.
You know, you said that, I was like, damn, I don't even know what he looks like. So I looked up pictures of him. He looks kind of like John Cusack with a bad hairline.
Yes, absolutely.
Holy
yeah, that's
shit.
I never put that together, but yes, that's good.
Like, he doesn't look at all like how I expected him to. I didn't think he would look like John Cusack.
He looks more normal than you would expect, you know?
I guess I expected. I don't know. I guess I expected more like
creepy look.
Yeah, not frizzy hair, but more like I can't think of. Maybe like a Jim Steinman kind of look. But not
know who
like,
Jim Steinman is.
Yeah, I know. No one knows who Jim Steinman is.
Next is our music podcast.
If you Google Jim Steinman, I like a thinner, short, whatever. Let's just move on.
Oh, wait, I want to say something else about, like, because I did get a picture with him, and there was this dude in the background who was, like, totally, like, photobombing my picture, and the way he did it, like he made his eyes all wide open and shit, and like was
Mm-hmm.
creeping. And the way it looks like Charles Band has a head growing out of his shoulder, like a full moon movie. Like
That's
he
awesome.
looks like a creature from a full moon movie because of this guy in the background just creeping on the picture.
So his photobomb actually like made the photo
It
better.
made it better, dude. If I can find it, we'll post it or something because it's really funny looking.
So this goes back to 1984, which Mike's not here, but he'll tell you that was his birthday.
Yep.
And it opens up in the future, somewhere in the 2200s. I love the music in this movie. It's got a really good,
Dude,
like, moody synth.
the
It's
soundtrack
like
rules.
sort of riffing on Terminator. Now, did this just like come out? Should have looked this up. Did this come out like right on the heels of Terminator in
I
1984?
do not know.
You know what? I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, do that.
Which I should have done before the show, but I
Yeah,
just thought of it now.
yeah, because I heard
It
you
came
guys
out.
doing your Mario Minute, and you guys have like wiki pulled up and everything. I was like, oh shit, I didn't do any of that.
Well,
I didn't read
well,
facts. I
damn,
did
they came
nothing.
out like back to back, which is crazy because this opening music definitely like the background has like the atmospherics and sort of the bass line of the Terminator theme.
Hmm.
The Terminator came out October 26th, and this came out November 7th.
Yeah, there's
In
no
the, well, in
way
the
they
UK,
would have
a wide
known.
release in May, but yeah, they're a week apart. So, like, I guess it's just one of those cases of like this idea of time traveling to save the future was just kind of floating around Hollywood, and people picked
Well,
it up.
isn't that kind of what like they do? Like there'll be like an idea, and then like
Yes,
somebody hears about it, like an executive, and they're like, "All right, we got to get ours out first," you know.
exactly.
But
So,
back to that soundtrack though, man. Like I'm totally looking that up on vinyl as soon as we're done with this episode. I bought the Kabuki Man soundtrack like last week and
that's
Troma's War.
awesome.
So now I want to get some Full Moon like vinyl in here.
This would be definitely a good one to start with. It
Yeah.
is good music.
Dude, I enjoyed
Um,
every like background song that played, like during every chase, everything.
the music was spot on for this. I was actually surprised that they start in the future. The production values are way better
Yeah.
than I thought they would be. I don't really didn't really remember the future bits. I knew it had bits in the future. And this is what $400,000 budget according to Wikipedia
Really?
compared to Terminator's 6.4 million. But like it looked
Well,
good. I mean,
it's reasonable.
they came out after Blade Runner. They were definitely ripping off Blade Runner a bit with like the look of the cars and stuff.
Well,
But
one of the cars
this
too.
looked good.
One of the cars reminded me of like the Ecto One, like the way it looked in the opening scene. But it was like a car, but it had like fucking giant like tubes on it. Like it was kind of like that.
But that's another 84 movie.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of
I just
that.
pulled it up. June 7th, that one. So yeah, they would have probably not been able to rip off that either. So yeah, all these things that I've always thought like, oh, Transfers was ripping off Terminator or whatever, but like
They were all ripping off Trancers.
it could yes, Transfers came first.
They just kept seeing like all these coincidences, and they were like, "Fuck, we got to push the date back." That movie was supposed to come out in
Right.
'83.
Right. So, I mean, we were going to have a segment, why should it be cult? But I'm going to forget that. Transfers came before Terminator. Terminator is a Transfers ripoff
Yeah.
by 1 week. So there's reason number one why Transfers should be cult. I was actually kind of disappointed when they left the future because I loved the way this future looked.
Yeah, it was
Um,
cool. Like it was kind of post-apocalyptic, kind of like in a way.
Yeah, but it
Um,
didn't overdo it. The lighting was spot on. They had like Los Angeles as a matte painting as a sunken city, but it actually
Yeah.
looked pretty good. Like they go to the beach and you just see like skyscrapers sticking up out of the ocean. Like it's not 2020 good, but
Nah, but
it gives you the feeling like you could believe in it.
I wanted to get this out there before I forgot. I watched this in a different way. I forgot to mention this. I still watched it on Tubi, but I watched it as an Elvira Presents Trancers.
I was gonna say if we should go back and watch that version because I saw that too
Yeah,
and I was tempted, but I didn't know if hers shows like the actual like full uncut movie.
it does. It was the full one.
Oh,
Um,
but does she put like stuff all over the thing, or does she just
like
talk and interrupt it?
she talks at the beginning, and then she'll come in and interrupt with like just certain jokes. Like
Okay.
there was one joke in there that's pretty rough. Like I don't see how this passed because I think this like the Elvira thing was like 4 years ago when it came out originally. The
Okay, so
13
I was
Days
gonna
thing.
ask that too. Is this like a recent Elvira
Yeah,
thing that she did, or okay?
yeah, it was recent, and there was only one joke that I
Reason
wrote
number
down.
two, it should be cult. Elvira endorsed.
That's true. Yeah, if Elvira endorsed it, it's got to be good.
Yeah.
But you know that scene at the beginning where they're in the bar? Well, not the bar, but you know, like the
The
diner,
diner. Yeah.
and the black chick like turns into a trancer, right? Like
Yes.
that legit scared me. Like I jumped when she fucking did that. And the
That was
funniest,
a good scene
dude,
too, introducing him, and
yeah, she fucked him up so
that
bad.
was such a great fight. Like you're just like, damn, don't fuck with Trancers. Like this guy is definitely a hard ass. Like they're not just zombies; they're nasty.
Yeah, like fuck it.
And then they turn to smoke.
And one of the things I loved was the gun landed in the hot shit, like the boiling pot. She throws the boiling pot on him, and he's burning.
Yes.
And then he goes to
Yeah.
grab the gun, and he gets burnt
And we can't
again.
pick it up because it's too hot.
I felt
Well,
bad
you were
for
gonna
him.
say the
Oh,
rough
oh,
Elvira joke.
oh, the Elvira joke. So after, like, he kills her, right? Elvira pops up on screen and says, "Tonight's special, blackened black people."
Oh,
Yeah.
ooh, ooh, Elvira.
Yeah, Elvira's a little fucking racy on
Elvira better
this,
watch
man.
out for cancel culture with that joke.
Dude,
Damn.
like, and it's funny because, like, I don't believe in any of that shit, but, like, that made me kind of uncomfortable. I'm like, ooh, how'd she get away with that? But
Yeah.
to be fair, later on there was a white guy and she said, "Oh, this special is black and white person." Like so she
Ah,
kind of evened it out, but
yeah.
yeah, it was a little touchy there for a second. Also, one of the things I
Uh,
wanted to point out about another future scene is when he goes to see like the High Council or whatever,
yeah.
like in that room. One of the things that really like upset me, like, is it would just bug me. Is like it's like a pretty cool like area for them and stuff. They got like the high tech thing in the back where they hook the people up. But how come their floors were wet?
Oh, right. Yeah. I was thinking like, are they still in trouble of like going into the sea? Like, have they not solved the
Oh, that
problem
makes sense.
that sank Los Angeles? Like, so it's a semi dystopia.
I didn't even think of that, dude. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I just saw the wet floor and I was like, that would bug me so much.
No,
Like,
yeah, that's I was just like, oh, that's gross. Like you would think like the most powerful people in the land would
could have.
like get somebody to mop that
Yeah, I was
up.
gonna say you could afford a mop or like a janitor.
But yeah, that was then it was like, well,
That makes
maybe
sense.
maybe things are still going downhill. They just can't do anything about it. Um, my note for those scenes was that they had good boopy boops. All the little like boop boop boop
Yeah,
boom boop. All the
those are fun.
atmospherics are awesome in there. Um, so wait, did Assassin's Creed? I don't really know Assassin's Creed, but did they rip off the time travel mechanics of this, or like
I don't know Assassin's Creed at all.
Assassin's Creed's time travel? I think you or go back into like an ancestor's consciousness, but in a simulation. I don't know if it was actual time travel, so to speak. I
Yeah,
mean, like you
that.
play the game and you make your choices, but it's very similar.
Well, didn't you watch the
So
movie?
the movie's fucking weird. I'm trying to look it up right now.
I think you
Oh
did
my
it for the
god.
podcast on an episode that didn't air.
like this would be great if Mike was here. Mike could tell us immediately because he played like all these games.
Oh,
Okay,
does he?
so yeah,
I didn't know he was in the like fucking those. I thought he just played like long-winded RPGs.
so I guess yeah, the idea is that through genetics you can relive your ancestors' memories and basically effectively see the past because you like go into the simulation of it based on their DNA. So it's not necessarily time travel, but you could definitely argue that that idea came out of Trancers' time travel idea, which is that you
Hmm.
time travel your consciousness back into the body of an ancestor.
All right. So fuck you,
So,
Assassin's Creed, for stealing this
so
great
I mean,
idea.
that's for some of you, for you, the video game crowd. There's what are we on number three? Reason number three. It's called. It's
Oh, are we?
inspired Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed, a very successful video game franchise, which had just a really boring movie.
Yeah, it spawned its own bad movie.
Okay, so we were talking. We kind of went away from it because we were about to like just talk about the movie before we did the intro. You were saying about like I travel into your body and I bang your girl, but Jack Death travels into his ancestor. What was it, Phil? Whatever, Phil.
Yeah,
of
Phil.
Death. He travels into Phil's death, but when he first gets there, Death or Phil has already banged the girl Helen Hunt
Yeah.
the night before, and later he gets pulled back just as he's about to bang Helen Hunt again, and Phil does the deed, and then Jack goes back into the body right after, and he's like, "Well, damn it!"
Well,
So no, Jack
he
never
never
got to
bangs her.
actually. He never got to be there for banging Helen Hunt.
One of my favorite lines from that, it's something I want to use, is when she's like, "Do you mean what you said to me last night? That making love to me is like an
Oh,
accidental
right?
union of two lost souls."
Yes, this whole part of thing. What did he's just like, yeah,
Yeah, that's
lost souls.
what
I actually put that in my notes. Death is a total douche to the girl.
Dude, he's such a dick to her like the whole time, man. Like she just kept saying how she was gonna be late for work, and he didn't give a shit. He just had to slick his hair back and stuff.
Yes. He's like asking her all these questions about LA, and she's just like, "Don't you live here?" He's like, "Yeah, just answer me. Just help me out. People are gonna die. Trancers." She's like, he must have been really good in bed because she goes with him for the whole movie. This bitch
Yeah.
should have just gone.
Well,
Well, I guess she does. She does go to work, and then
it's,
Santa turns out to be a trancer
dude, this is one of my
um,
favorite things about the Santa transfer thing. Is like that happens,
because
but she's behind the camera the entire time they're fighting. She never
I didn't
moves.
even notice that.
She notices, but she's still like, well, maybe it's a good photo opportunity happening. Like she doesn't
It's
leave
just
the camera. That's the one
so.
thing I noticed about that scene.
And right here is where like maybe you got it, but like I actually wrote in my notes, I don't understand the point of Trancers. So the bad guy is Whistler, and he has these
Yeah.
psychic powers to turn people into Trancers, which basically means that they are totally normal humans until a cop shows up,
Yeah.
and then they turn into fucking ghouls and try to kill the cops.
It's not even cops. It's just Jack Death. Like that's the only time they turn.
Like, what is the purpose of that, or what is the fear of them? On the other hand, like, oh, Whistler has them under his control, but he only uses them like when the cops show up. So, like, if
But
I
he's-
was a trancer, what would change about my life?
It seems like nothing unless like Jack Death shows up and you're like, oh fuck, I got a
Right, or, like-
trance.
Like, if I, oh right, because they only act up if they're found out.
Yeah.
So even like if I got a speeding ticket, if the cop was just license and registration, I have license and registration. Here you go, sir. It would be when the cop says, "Are you a trancer?" I'd be like, "Blah, blah, blah,
Just fucking flip on him.
blah." Right? But like they don't. There's Whistler has no villain plot other than
No.
just fucking turn everyone into trancers. But trancers don't do anything unless you tell them they're a trancer. Then they freak out.
And like I said, I don't think it's all cops because like he turned those couple cops into him. But I'm sure
Right,
there's
yeah,
dudes on
he's-
the force that they see every day like that they don't freak out on,
Yeah.
that aren't Trancers.
So they only freak out on Jack Death
That's it. Like
specifically.
that's their life. It's
Well,
just flipping out on him.
I guess they kill council members too. But again, what's his end game? Like, I'm just gonna kill all the council members with Trancers, and like, wait, he wants to turn everybody into Trancers and then just let them live their normal lives?
Yeah, it honestly seems like he's doing a good thing if you look at it. Like,
because like that lady at the diner, she was totally normal,
she
just
was
running
happy.
her diner and everything.
Yeah, she was doing a good job.
Like, unless they're like really exceptional pod people who fake emotion, but like, no, I didn't get the threat of Whistler at all. Like,
I was gonna ask you about that. Like, I was like, did you understand why they were doing anything?
No. Like, I got that he wanted to kill the council, and they were like, no, we can't do that. But I didn't get, like, what the great threat of the Trancers was.
No, it seems like if you just let them live, like, it's, like, cool. Like, that Santa Claus,
Yes.
like, he's probably been doing that for, like, 3 weeks, like, taking kids, like, fucking
He's been a
requests and
transfer
shit.
for the entire Christmas season, and he's just, like, taking their wishes up to the North fucking Pole. He doesn't care until Jack Death shows up, and it's like, you're a transfer, and then he's just like, fuck.
Jack Death ruined Christmas.
Right, like, transfers are going to be completely normal as long as you just don't ask. Don't ask, don't tell with transfers.
That's going to be the new rule for the fucking military. They don't care about gays anymore. It's just Trancers they don't want in.
Yeah, like, they do want the Trancers in, but
we don't want to know about it.
Yeah, we don't want to know about it. We don't want any Trancer freakouts.
We don't want to know what you do in your Trancer free time.
Oh my god. Oh man.
Funny.
So Santa was played by the guy in Terminator 2 who pulled the shotgun on Arnold in the opening bar scene.
Oh, so another Terminator
Yes.
connection.
Yeah, he came around in Terminator 2.
Like James Cameron was like, "Hey, you were in that movie I ripped off for the first one.
Yeah.
Do you want to be in the
You
second?"
were great as a Trancer fighting Jack Death. You want to fight my Terminator, which was greatly inspired by the movie Trancers that you were in 1984?
Oh shit!
I'm just picturing like Arnold. You just ask him, "Are you a Terminator?" and he freaks out. He just throws boiling water at you. The Trancers did look pretty good. I mean, it was like simple like ghoul rotting zombie look.
Yeah, like that, like the grayish like skin tone and stuff, and like kind of like little Legion type things. It looked like not really like kind of like
makeup.
Yeah, it was simple and good. Like, I think if you went over the top, it would be kind of annoying, you know?
Yeah. So Helen Hunt, we should probably talk about Helen Hunt. Like, she didn't seem right for this movie at all.
Dude, one of the things about her that kind of annoyed me was when she, like, at the Santa, like, they were like, "Oh, why do you have blue hair?" "Oh, because it's cold up there." And then, like, there's one point where he's like, "Hey, you gotta, like, lose the blue hair because it's noticeable." She's like, "Never," and then she just makes it pink.
Right. Well, no, it changes color throughout the movie. Like, scene to scene. It goes back to blue and then back to pink again.
See, I only noticed, like, the one change up. So...
But, yeah. But why have that at all? Like, they're trying to make her punk?
I think so, because they had that punk scene in the bar.
Yeah.
Which, by the way... That's the only time Jack Death doesn't get his ass beat. And he takes on, like, fucking 8 punks at once.
Right, yeah, all these huge punks. I guess because they're not Trancers. So
Trancers must be fucking awesome, then. Like,
I hated that punk Christmas song.
It was so stupid.
It was awful. Like,
yeah.
I kind of, like, it has to be there because it's the 80s, and it's kind of like what you would expect of a cult 80s movie, but I kind of hated all the punk shit.
Dude, most movies where they put, like, that punk shit into it, it just seems so, like, fake.
Yeah, like
I didn't grow up in that time, but like watching them like try to mosh and stuff, like it just like, oh man, they mosh very gaily. Like we would beat the shit out of them in a mosh pit now.
yeah, they don't mosh like Trancers mosh.
No, like today is like trancer type moshing. Like that shit's just lame.
I just didn't like, and also like Helen Hunt's like apartment. It was just like a dentist reception office, but instead of like the desk behind the like counter, they put her bed there, and then they just put a table and a TV there. I was like, we are really stretching in this like punk '80s scene to just like put her in an apartment like this.
Yeah, and she did not seem punk at all. Like except
No,
for that
she
like little
seemed
streak of hair color, you know.
right. It's like they had to put the blue in her because they're like, Helen, can you not act like a 40-year-old woman like you're going to and Mad About You in 15 years? And she's just like, no. And they're like, well, you're going to have to be our pixie. We got to put blue in your hair. But she was horrible for this role.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool
It's,
that the movie has a big name, but she was
right.
the worst part of it.
But I mean, I guess there's your next cult reason. It does have a big name in a weirdly miscast role. So it's like you
Yeah.
could watch it for the novelty of seeing Helen Hunt try to be a pixie punk 80s chick.
This is weird.
Oh, and she gets to say bitching. Like, I'm your bitching girlfriend. And I love the word bitching.
One of the things about her that like was weird was like how like why was she so in love with him like after a day or
That's
two?
what I'm saying, dude. He's got that magic penis.
One of my favorite parts is so he uses the time watch, right? So the time watch is
Oh, I loved the time watch.
you
The
can
long
pause
second.
like 1 second turns into 10 seconds, but when he saves her the first time, that's about like a 2 minute scene
Oh,
of
yes. It
him
was
like
actually,
dragging her to the car and shit. He stops and looks at fucking Whistler and he's like, I could kill you right now. And
like,
I don't
no,
understand why he didn't.
yeah, but he also takes 10 seconds just to decide. He hits the button. He's like, holy shit, that
Yeah,
worked. And
yeah.
it takes 10 seconds just like, wow,
Realizing.
cool. Did you catch the line when he was giving it, though? Like, I was like, wait. I took a minute, like, trying to think what he meant by it. He
What was
said,
it?
I could have used this on my last date. I was like, was he trying to say he only lasted a second and he wished he had a machine to help him last 10?
I guess so.
But then if he did that, his 10 seconds are still only her
1
1 second,
second.
so it would have the reverse effect? Or
Okay.
was he saying, like, it was a bad date and he needed a quick getaway and he could have used that to, like, sneak off?
That might make more sense.
Yeah, I guess so. But I took it the first way. Like, I was like, what does that have to do with sex? That'd be terrible for sex for you
If it
as
was
a
the
man.
if it was the first way, Helen Hunt would be fucking pissed because
Right?
his like fucking relative or whatever is Phil like fucked her so good, and then you get this dude who lasts a second. That would suck, dude. Jack Death can't fuck. Dude, somebody
That
named
would
Jack,
be
Jack Death can fuck.
That's such a great line. Jack Death can fuck.
You can't be called Jack Death and not fuck.
Right.
But
I like that she did laugh at his name too. Death? His name's Death?
But also like with that 10-second thing, like she was ready to waste his only other one just to make out with him.
Yeah.
He's literally saved your life with that thing before, and you're gonna waste it to fucking make out with Jack Death.
I,
So dumb.
well, I love too that like one kind of flaw in this is like they make such a big deal, like get him the equipment, get him his gun inside his gun. He's got the 2 shots to get Whistler back in time and himself back in time. But then they just come and say, dude, you gotta come back for a minute. And they send him more gear. Like, he comes and goes.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's really not a big deal.
Like she was like, be very careful. You can only use this watch once, and then just hey, come back. We got some more
Yeah,
for you.
his boss comes back as an 8-year-old girl's like, I had to sneak away from my parents. And then just brings him back without his, like, against his will.
That's stupid.
Oh, another bad, like, Helen Hunt moment was, like, after, like... Oh, the tanning room. So he goes to a tanning room on like a lead because Whistler's trying to kill the council members' ancestors, and one of
Yeah.
them runs a tanning salon. But instead of beds, they have stalls. Is that actually a thing?
I I don't know what that
Where you
was.
just
It was
instead
weird.
of laying down in a
You
tanning bed, you just
stand in a
stand in a
room.
room with
Yeah.
UV lights around you. Um,
That doesn't seem like a thing. I don't know. I've never been to a
yeah.
tanning place, like I guess, but the thing I loved about that scene was before he went in, and one of the things I love about Jack Death is like he just lights his matches on like anything. Like he used his
Oh, I
teeth
didn't
at
catch
one
that.
point, like, but he used the building, and like the thing he does is before he goes into a building, he has to light a cigarette to go in, and then he
He
like
smokes so.
throws
He
he
is
throws the
so
cigarette in the
cool,
dude's
man.
water. Like what a dick move.
Yes. Yeah. He is so like macho aggressive. It's
For no
amazing. I wish I
reason.
could be more like Jack Death. Like Tim Thomerson was perfect for it. Like he's got this kind of like aged look, but you could still see like he's got swag for an older guy.
Yeah.
Like you could believe that Phil Death maybe a little bit more like better with the ladies than Jack could get Helen Hunt in his bed.
Dude, I like the name Phil Death. Just
Phil
sounds so
Death.
lame.
That's Phil Spector's nickname. Phil Death. It's his jail name.
That's what you expected Richard Band to look like. Crazy hair shit.
not, not quite. Like a toned down crazy musician look, I guess.
Okay.
Let's. You got me like trying to think of somebody.
There
Like
was an
a longer haired Sam Raimi. There you go.
okay.
Yeah, so between Crazy Musician and Sam Raimi is where I thought Charles Band would land as far as looks.
I
But
can
he
see
looks like
it.
John Cusack.
And then he's John
Um,
Cusack. Yes.
right, so they get saved from the tanning salon. They do the long second. They both basically die multiple times. And then they're eating Chinese, and Helen Hunt opens up the cookie and says, "Oh my God, it's from Whistler. I'm gonna kill you and your bitchin' girlfriend." He's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, how is she joking right now? Like pulling pranks on Jack Death to make him think Whistler's after them right then when they're trying to have dinner.
Yeah.
I
There was
really don't have anything else for the rest of the movie.
there was one
Um,
part where oh, shit, what was I thinking? Where they talk about Whistler, but then they mention Whistler's mother. And just for a second, I
right?
thought of the painting, and then I just could only think of Mr. Bean, the movie.
They mention it in like, well, Tim Thomerson too has this great like just amazed by like things he doesn't understand from the future. Like, oh, you have beef like from a cow, and he's
Oh
like a little
yeah,
kid, like so excited.
dude,
He
he
does it
lost his
so
shit on
well.
that. He was so excited.
Right, like that's such a dumb line to be like, "Oh, I'm from the future. I don't have beef." But he really makes it like he's a little fucking kid,
Yeah, he
so
plays that
excited that
up.
he can have beef now.
He
He
plays that
did
up
that
hard.
perfect. He's so good in this. Also, that long second we get at the very end, he gets to use it for a slow-mo zip line, which I love.
Yeah.
That was how we ended.
Um,
Um,
there was one part I wanted to bring up is his driving. Is I don't know if you notice it when he drives the car. He basically
no,
has his hands at 12 and 12. He has his
that's
hands together on the
correct.
top of the wheel, and that's how he drives.
Wow,
It
you get some real good leverage to yank it
it
if you
fucking
do
threw
that.
me off. Like I was like, who the fuck could drive like that? That would hurt so bad. Like my shoulders, my elbows, just everything about it would
Oh my
fucking suck
god.
after a while.
Maybe he's just built that way, man. You don't know that kind of cool.
I guess not.
So the only thing I wish Trancers had, besides a little bit more of the future, I wish there was actually a scene of Whistler creating a transfer.
Oh yeah, that would have been interesting to see how he does it. Like, is it like a mind
But
trick, or does he
right, like
inject them with something? What does he
I
do?
assumed it was all mind powers because they just kept
Yeah,
saying he had these crazy psychic abilities, but we really don't like. the villain and the Transfers aren't developed at all. I assume the sequels are going to, they have to develop that some more, and we'll see more of that. I'm sure we'll see a transformation in the sequels,
But
but
also,
I was
who
kind
does
of
he
bummed we didn't get that here.
who does he pick to be a Trancer? Like, why was Santa Claus a Trancer?
Right, does he have some like foresight to know that like Helen Hunt and Jack Death are going to come his way for that, or just anybody?
I have no idea. Again, we'll have to find out in the sequels.
Or yeah, maybe they'll explain his methods and his purpose. I don't know his purpose either.
Yeah. No, like really,
So
they didn't explain a lot. Like, I guess his purpose is it sounded like Whistler killed his girl. That's what I
okay,
caught from it. So he was
I
mad
didn't
about
even get
that.
that.
Yeah, it was mentioned at the beginning,
Oh,
like
Whistler
one or
killed Jack Death's girl. Yeah.
yeah,
So he's got like this vendetta against him.
exactly. And it was funny because when they
Yeah.
had his body, uh, fucking Whistler's attached to the thing, and he just fucking shot it and it
Yes.
exploded.
Yeah. They're like, oh no, why? He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this on my terms. And it like just burst into crazy flames
Yeah,
after he shot the body.
that was awesome. Like I like that.
But yeah, Jack Death, man, he's a hero for the ages, and that's why Transfer should be more of a cult movie. We're
Yes.
gonna go through all 6 of them, so like, if we can't get it down in one, at least maybe by doing the whole franchise, we can convince y'all to make this a cult movie. And we
Cult
have a couple
series.
movies in mind for after that, but we are totally open for suggestions
Yeah.
on this series.
What do you guys think should be like a cult movie that you watch, like that doesn't have the status you think it deserves? And we'll
Right, so
watch it and we'll go through it.
it can't be like super well known, but it has to be like vaguely well known. Like everybody sort of knows about Transfers, I feel like, but nobody really talks about Transfers.
Yeah.
And that's like the kind of movie we're looking for, is people know of the movie but they don't talk about it, or a lot of people haven't seen it despite knowing of it. And it obviously has to have like a lot of fun to actually seeing it. So that's basically the criteria. I don't know if there's anything more to elaborate on that. We already gave some examples of it. But yeah, like the main show, we're not open for suggestions at all. So this is your chance. If you want, like, hit us up on our Facebook comments. Other people can chime in if they agree or even disagree or vote it up or down. If you've got suggestions, like I said, we got a couple more movies after the Transfer series, but then we have no idea where this is going. Help us out.
Yeah. And we hope you enjoyed this.
Yep. See ya.
Peace.